Alright everybody, what's going on? How you all doing? We are back with Katawa Shoujo. This time around we are going to be doing the neutral ending for Hanako, and I did decipher my sheets of cheatness to figure out how this stuff worked. What was confusing me is that the options that, because my sheets of cheatness pretty much tell me what options to choose to get what ending, so it doesn't spoil any of the actual story stuff for me. So what actually happened was that some of these choices that are on here aren't worded the same way they are in the game. And to give you guys pretty much an explanation or an example that I have here for this is it's telling me to, at the end here, it tells me in order to get the good ending for Hanako, I have to select the option Trust Lily. And to get the neutral ending, I have to choose the option Trust Myself. And to show you guys, we're going to load a save file here, and pretty much what I've done is when I re-download Katawa Shoujo onto my new computer to get ready to record it again before I had all those issues, I pretty much saved at every choice in the game. So instead of replaying Katawa Shoujo every single time from the beginning to get all the endings, what I can do is I can just go to the option, or I could go to the dialogue option where it actually starts to change in order to get the next ending, so you guys aren't seeing a lot of repeated footage, if that makes any sense. I probably could have explained that better, but the option that let me show you. We're gonna have to go there anyway to start this recording, but the option is this one right here. This is the two options right here. To get the good ending, on my paper it says to get the good ending you have to choose the option Trust Lily. Well, as you can see on the screen, there is no Trust Lily option, it's Agree with Lily. And that's why I was getting a little bit mixed up, is because what's on this paper doesn't match up what is exactly in the game. And then to get the neutral ending, I need to choose Trust Myself, according to the paper, but the game's actual choice is Trust My Own Judgment. So that's where I got a little confused, that the wording wasn't exactly the same, which it's not a big deal. It's just, it's a little bit my fault for looking for what the page was telling me. But at the same time, if the page is telling me to choose something, I expect it to be worded the same as it is in the game. But either way, last time we got Hanako's good ending. To get her bad ending, or to get her neutral ending, I'm sorry, all I have to do is choose this option, Trust My Own Judgment. And that's what I'm going to do. This is where I'm going to start Hanako's neutral ending, pretty much. I'm not going to, this is where I'm going to start the video to get to the neutral ending. Because if I started from the very beginning, you guys would be seeing a lot of repeated footage. Because in order to get the neutral ending, this is the only differing option I have to choose between all of the dialogue moments. That is it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to choose... I listen carefully to what Lily has to say, but I can't bring myself to agree with her. I want to be with Hanako more. I want to be a better friend to her, to support her when she needs support, and to be there when she most needs people. I think that now is one of those times. The memory of the store owner we met in town together still puts me off. Anyone who takes even the slightest glance at Hanako ends up staring. And to fault them for it would be completely hypocritical, given my own reaction. I don't like my own scarring either, but at least I can cover it up with something as simple as a shirt. I can't imagine a life where every day would be spent trying to hide myself as much as possible. And on top of that, Hanako doesn't even have people around her that would support her no matter what she looks like. I live away from my parents, but I can still contact and visit them when I wish. I'm all over the best course of action in my head, and find myself trying to verbally agree with Lily as softly and as ambivalently as I can. Sure. We make some small talk afterwards, but the both of us don't really have much stomach for it in the light of recent events. We say our goodbyes before I hang up. There is at least one thing I can do for Hanako. If I make this small gesture for her, I can only hope that she allows me to come that little bit closer. Alright, after talking to Lily at the end of the school day, I sat on my desk and looked out the window, idly watching students leaving the school building. Usually they left in groups, but even when they left alone, they'd say goodbye to their friends first. It's completely normal, something that I would have missed completely had it been any other day because it's so mundane. but it's also something Hanako has never had in the time that I've known her. As I stand outside of Hanako's door for the second time in as many days, that fact doesn't leave my mind. God damn. I hold 2 plates in my hands. On each is not exactly the most hearty of meals, but I want to be sure that Hanako is at least feeding herself. It may also be a way to gain a little leverage in getting her to let me in. Lily and I have tried our best to be there for her ever since she broke down in class. I've dearly wanted to protect Hanako. Such a thing happen to her again, or even something worse, is something I don't want to think about. The door gives a solid series of thuds as I knock on it while carefully propping up one plate on my other arm. I doubt Hanako will open it for me, so all I can really hope to accomplish is to attract her attention. Evening, Hanako. It's just me. I pause for a moment to see if she will respond, but the fact that she doesn't isn't very surprising. I have some food for the both of us. Could I come in? For what feels like a very long time, some muffled voices from the floor below are the only sound to be heard. Then I can hear the sound of bare feet on the floor coming to the door, and I have to stifle a sigh of relief as I hear the door's lock being worked. Hanako! When Hanako opens the door, I look at her intently. She looks up momentarily to the plate in my left hand. It's a modest curry dish I quickly made from a packet. Well, that's nice. Her eyes move to the plate on my right arm, which holds the same thing, before looking down again. As she shuffles back into her room, I realize that I haven't said a word to her. I glumly follow her in, slightly embarrassed by having been so wrapped up in observing her. That is a creaky-ass door. More than ever, the gray and stark atmosphere of Hanako's room feels like a reflection of her personality. The voices from outside become completely inaudible, and the silence inside oppressive once I close the door. Walking to the far end of the room, I place the 2 plates on her desk. I'm thankful that she let me in, but as I turn to face her, I can't help having second thoughts about coming to see her. Can't have second thoughts, guy. I don't believe Lily was right, though. Looking at Hanako like this, I can only think that giving her space is the last thing we should be doing. I don't want to imagine it, but she may do something very foolish. It's just an instant meal, but it should be filling. I take a plate in my hand, offering it to her. She wordlessly takes it and sits on the side of her bed. I take a seat in her chair, and the familiar sound of eating rings in the room as we dig in with the forks that were stuck into the rice. God damn it, I cannot read. I am not happy with myself right now. The curry itself tastes okay. I wouldn't expect much more from a packet whose brand I didn't recognize, so it not being horrible is at least something. Eating takes the edge off the fact she isn't talking. Neither of us really likes to talk while we're eating, and this reminds me of the lunchtimes we so often spent together. It's kind of nice, eating together like this. Hanako looks at me quizzically. It's at least a better expression than what she's been wearing this far. We've become friends mainly over sharing lunch breaks, so it's nice to go back to those times a bit. She hesitates for a couple of seconds, and I found myself grimacing. Did I say something wrong? Eventually she smiles and nods. I would normally be very encouraged by this, but her smile looks strange. I can't quite put my finger on why. Everything's the same as before, isn't it? Yeah, of course it is. You still got Lily and me to help you and protect you, and once she gets back, everything will be just like she never left. He said to help you and protect you. That's where he fucked up. Ah, see, Hanako said you fucked up, dude. You need to think before you speak. Hanako nods again, her expression remaining exactly the same as before. She feels like a different Hanako from the one I'd seen when I entered her room, and it's vaguely off-putting. Both of us go back to finishing off our dinners after the short exchange. Despite Hanako looking happier than before, my eyes keep flicking to her as if to reassure myself of this fact. Before long, the last of Hanako's curry is cleared. I finish the last of mine as she puts the empty plate on the desk and place my own empty plate and used fork on top of hers. I briefly wonder what I should say, desperately wanting to avoid another awkward silence, or the prospect of leaving her room after so short a time, but Hanako is the one to speak up first. I was wondering, since you're here. She quickly goes to one of her drawers, and after a minimum of fussing around, pulls out her chessboard. Would you like to play? Hey, chess! This time, I can't stop with a sigh of relief that escapes my lips. Hey, play some chess. I hastily agree, and Hanako promptly busies herself sitting up while I get off the chair and take a seat on her bed. Once again, Hanako is willing to let me into her world. With so simple a gesture as a game shared between us, I guess I was just winding myself up for no reason. Oh, Hanako. After the board is laid down on the bed between us, we finish placing our respective pieces on it. Throughout our friendship, we've never exchanged that many words. When we're like this, though, I see that perhaps we never really needed to. Just a simple book, or board, or a meal between us is enough to bridge that distance. I make the first move, just as I've always done. This is the way our friendship was, and this is the way it will probably always be. Something definitely feels different about her, though, and I can't quite grasp what it is. I look at Hanako intently, but I can't work out anything from her expression. As physically close as she may be, it feels like we're further apart than ever. Hanako is a fragile person, though, and I would never want to hurt her. That was also the way things always were, and the way things between us will probably always be. It's like dialogue is repeating itself. What the fuck is going on here? Is that the neutral ending already? That wasn't too bad of an ending, honestly. End it on some chess. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. So there, I got the good ending for you guys, and I got the neutral ending. Even the neutral ending wasn't that bad. It felt like just a positive confirmation of their friendship. I actually liked that quite a bit. That wasn't too bad. Now, in order to go through getting the bad ending, I'm gonna have to go through and there's a few more choices I need to make to get the bad ending. There's a few more. Actually, I think it's mainly just one choice that differentiates itself from the good and the bad for the most part. I need to set one of these papers aside here. So yeah, so there's a couple more choices. That kind of change itself. So the bad ending may take a little bit more time to get into because there's actually, I have to go back a few more choices and change them before I can actually get to the bad ending. There's about 3 different choices in total that I need to make. So that's actually not too bad. And I think the if I go back and load this, this is the last option right here. So to get the neutral ending, I only needed to change the last dialogue option. But in order to get the bad ending, I have to change like 3. So it's gonna be a little bit different. I may have to set a little more time aside at another time to do that, because I pretty much recorded this neutral ending video right after the good ending. So I may have to put aside the bad ending one to another day in order to finish that. But thank you all so much for watching these videos. I hope you all are enjoying them. By the response you guys have given them, I'd say you probably are, and I can't thank you guys enough for that. Thank you all so much for the amazing love and support. I love you all. You guys have made bringing this series back after all the troubles I've had with it well worth it. Thank you all so much. I got the hiccups, but if you guys could do me a real quick favor and look in that description box below the video, I do have a Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch.tv link. If you guys could follow me on those, I would greatly appreciate it. Fuck you, phone. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. I am out.